This is not financial advice, not legal advice, for entertainment, educational purposes only. Anything I say is my opinion. Please don't make any financial decision based on anything I say in these videos. Listen, double check you're still subscribed to the channel. Double check your notifications are on. And if you hit that like button or comment, make sure it's working properly, because they are working overtime to suppress the channel, because they don't want more people becoming aware of all the fraud and corruption in the United States stock market. Guys, listen. These bad actors that are naked shorting AMC, they get shorting GME, they get shorting NWBO, they get shorting GNS, they get shorting BINI, and the ones who destroyed MMTLP, they are in trouble, okay? They're hanging on by their fingernails. Your liquidity is running out, and the banks are not gonna drown with them. I know I tell you guys this a lot, but it is obvious to anyone that's paying attention that their liquidity is almost gone. They have been hovering in the 20s and the 30s billion in liquidity for the past week and a half. Just 2 years ago, they were at $2 trillion, over $2 trillion in liquidity. And now, as of today, they're at 28 billion in liquidity in the reverse repo. And you guys know, eventually, that number is going to go to zero, and it's going to get crazy. They need liquidity in order to maintain their naked short positions, okay? They need liquidity. Without liquidity, they can't pay the interest rates on those loans, on those borrowed, well, they're not even real borrowed shares, on those counterfeit borrowed shares, on those counterfeit borrowed shares. And the banks, when they see that there's no money, if the bank don't have money to keep the lights on, they definitely don't have money to lend to naked shorters to pay interest on counterfeit shares that everybody knows they sold into the market. The SEC knows, the DOJ knows, the FBI knows, and they do absolutely nothing about it, because the victims of these crimes are retail investors, pension funds, and institutions that follow the rules. But even though the banks work with them and they're all buddy, when push comes to shove, the banks are not going to drown with the naked shorters. The banks are going to give them the margin call, and if they don't have the collateral or the cash, and obviously cash is running out, they are going to be forced to start liquidating their assets, and then they're going to have to start covering all these naked short positions. And at this point, a lot of these stocks are going to start rising to their true value. And then the first ones out, they might survive. The last ones out are not going to survive. They're going to end up in bankruptcy court, and some of them more than likely are going to end up indicted and in handcuffs, because what's going to happen is you're going to see billions, possibly trillions of counterfeit shares, and then the SEC, the DOJ, and the FBI won't be able to practice willful blindness anymore, because the evidence of the fraud and corruption is going to be right there for the entire world to see. So while a lot of people are concerned that they can naked short forever, the reverse repo lets us know that they can't naked short forever. At some point, their money starts running out, and when it does, the banks will margin call them. There will be forced liquidations. As far as I'm concerned, and a majority of retail investors, we've had our AMC for 5 years. It costs us absolutely nothing to hold for another 5 years. But every day that they maintain these positions, they still have to pay the borrowing fees on the counterfeit shares that they borrowed and sold into the market to manipulate the price. And the evidence of the fraud and corruption is overwhelming. Everybody knows it, but they do absolutely nothing about it, and you guys know why. Because who are the victims? Retail investors, pension funds, and institutions that follow the rules. Anyway, please leave some comments. Tell me what you think. Do you think when these criminals see the reverse repo at 28 billion, you think it terrifies them because they know the party is almost over? Anyway, Have a great day. God bless. And I appreciate y'all on this journey with me.